Hi folks, this is Al with BaumBuilds.com. You know, drift trikes are a popular new motorsport. The PVC sleeves on the rear tires are the key to reducing and controlling the traction of the trike that makes drifting so much fun. However, these PVC sleeves are a wear item and must be replaced from time to time. You can purchase replacement sleeves from BaumBuilds.com or through our eBay account, username autobeverage, or by contacting us via email at bombmail2000@yahoo.com. The installation of these replacement sleeves can be tricky, and I have found few online instructional videos that show how to do it. Therefore, BaumBuilds.com presents our version of a free online video. This video shows how to first install the tires to the rims and then install the PVC sleeves. The video also shows how to replace a worn sleeve with new sleeves. We hope you enjoy this video, and be sure to check out all of our drift trikes, including our new single-seat and two-seat bolt-together drift trikes with no welding required. Also check out our track vehicles and other cool stuff by visiting BaumBuilds.com. So here we are at the shop. Let's get started. Let's take a look at the tools we might need. First, I have 2 tire irons here. You can get away with 1 tire iron. 2 is actually better. In my case, I'm just using screwdrivers that I ground the tip, smoothed over the tip, and then I just coated them with 5 or 6 good coats of Plasti Dip to keep from marking up your rim. Now, there are small tire irons available out there at your local auto parts store and other places, but they can be pricey. If you're going to do this a lot, you should probably buy the tire irons. Me, in true BaumBuilds fashion, I just made my own. You may want to use a speed clamp. You'll definitely need a rubber mallet. You should probably have some safety glasses. And you're going to need some soapy water to help the bead of the tire slip over and lock into the rim. In this case, I'm just using dish soap and a spray bottle. Here I'm using some Gain, which lifts and locks away grease. Gain Ultra in the original scent. And we have some bacon. Hey, how'd that get in there? Okay, so now we have our new rim and our new tire. And the first thing we want to do is decide which side of the tire is going to be visible. So in this case, I actually have a painted lettering on my tire surface. So I'm going to go with that being exposed. And then I just need to make sure that that side ends up on the same side as the valve stem. So we're going to start out by taking both of these in the orientation we want, and then just flipping them upside down, just like that. Now I'm going to take my soapy water, and I'm going to soap up both these surfaces very well. Okay, next I'm going to just start this cone, start the wheel down into the tire, pushing and rotating a little bit. Now have some patience. It's not going to go right away. And we're going to take our tire iron, and we're just going to slowly work that down in there. Now I'm keeping pressure on the wheel. I'm always pushing down on this wheel, and I'm taking small bites, and eventually you'll get it to slip down in, and it should look just like that. And now with the back side in place, we're going to do the front side. So I'm just going to flip this over, and I'm going to do basically the same thing on the top side. Let's soap it up real good. Make sure you have a good dry rag handy. You're going to need it. This soap is very slippery. That's what it's supposed to do. So I'm just going to get as much of this rim, this tire, down under the rim as possible, using force again. And then I'm going to take my tire irons, and I'm going to take small bites to try to work the rest of that into place. Be patient. It could take some time, but you're going to take small bites with your tire iron and work that down under the rim. And see, I'm squeezing very tight. I'm squeezing this tire in against the rim here to try to hold it in place as I work around. Now, if you have a speed clamp or quick clamp, you can use that. And if I struggle with this too much, I'll probably switch to a clamp. But see, I got a little more bite, a little more each time. Just be careful. Be patient with your tire irons. Little bites. A little bit more each time. See here, I'm making pretty good progress, as you can see. I got a good portion of it already on there. So I'm going to continue with this and take these small bites. And that should do it. Now you got the rim locked in on both sides. I wanted to do a little breakaway clip here because I mentioned using 2 tire irons to work this around, and I mentioned holding this tire bead under the rim as you work it around. I mentioned that you could use a speed clamp. Here's a little clamp, a little quick clamp. I'm going to show this example. I can just take this and get this down over here. With my hand, I'm just smashing the bead under the rim, and then I'm going to use this clamp to lock it in place. So you can see in that one area that I have this locked underneath here, so it cannot move. So I'm going to take my soap, I'm going to soap that up, and I'm going to go back to my tire irons, and I'm going to work it around a little bit at a time, just like before. Next, to install the sleeve, we're going to just take this and see what I'm doing with my hand here. I'm just pushing this tire up against the underside of the bead the best I can. Now you won't be able to slip it in place most likely, but I'm just getting it up against there because later we're going to use the air to try to pop this out. So to install the sleeve, I'm going to take my sleeve. Now these are available from BaumBuilds.com. It's a replacement sleeve. It's a wear item. This is what makes you drift, of course. If you're doing this video, then you already know all those things. I'm going to take and I'm going to lubricate my tire, and then I'm also going to lubricate the inside of my sleeve. Now note, if you purchase these from BaumBuilds.com, this edge will be deburred, but if you get them from someplace else, just be sure that there's no sharp edges right here on the inside, because that's going to slip down over your tire. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to lubricate this sleeve, and then I'm just going to center it up the best I can. And now I'm just going to slip that right down over the edge, just like that. Now, to get this centered, I want this rim to be centered left and right. So I'm just going to take a little rubber hammer here and just kind of tap this down until it's centered. A little more. As you're doing this, you want to hit just the edge. You want to avoid hitting the tire because you're trying to move the sleeve against the tire. You want the tire to stay, and you want the sleeve to move. And what I'm looking for is being centered left to right. Looks like we have a little more to go. And you'll just jockey this back and forth until you get it where you want it. And you can always release the air later and recenter it. So I'm just going to continue working this till we get to the center, and we'll be back. So once you're satisfied with where the sleeve is located, left to right, within the tire, we can move on. Now note, as you're jockeying this back and forth to get it centered, you're looking to center the PVC sleeve to the tire itself. You can ignore the location of the rim because we haven't yet popped the tire onto the rim, so that will center itself. So keep the sleeve centered on the tire. Okay, next step is we're going to take our compressed air and we're going to pump this up until we pop the tire out onto the bead there. So first thing to do obviously is remove the cap from the valve stem. So we'll take that and put it aside. And we're going to go back to our soapy water, and we're going to soap up these interfaces between the tire and the rim on both sides. Get that nice and soapy. I assure you the tire will not slip once it's seated. Okay? Okay, so next, we're just going to pump this up until it pops out. So be ready for this. You'll get some popping sounds that might startle you. Now I'm going to fill this for a while. I didn't get a pop, so what I'm going to do to prevent overinflating this tire is I'm going to let a little bit of air back out here again. So the progress you made where the tire starts to come up onto the rim and seat, you won't lose that by deflating, but you'll keep from overinflating your tire. Okay? You might want to wear safety glasses for this particular step as well. So I'm going to go back and take another shot at this. Almost there. There she goes. And we got all the sides popped. So, a little bit of patience, a lot of soap, you can get your rim seated just like that. And so you're done mounting your new tire and your new PVC wear sleeve. Let's take a look at the tools we might need to remove an old worn PVC sleeve and replace it with a new one. So first you might want to have some safety glasses, of course, and then you'll need a valve stem remover, or valve core remover, a vacuum pump. Now this is available through Harbor Freight, less than $20. Some 3/8 ID hose. This is just clear vinyl ID tubing that you can get from any hardware store. And then this vacuum pump actually operates on our compressed air source. This segment of the video will cover removal of a worn PVC sleeve. Okay, these sleeves do wear out over time, as you know, and you can tell because the sidewall will be much thinner than a new sleeve. When they get pretty thin, they need to be replaced. So you can buy these at many places on the web. I also sell them myself through BaumBuilds.com and also through my eBay account, which is autobeverage, A-U-T-O beverage. That's me. So the first step we need to do is to take a valve gut remover. I have one here in my hand. Now these are just a couple dollars from any local auto supply store. And this will remove the gut, and you'll hear all the air come out, which is what we want. We just want to get rid of all the air here. And set these aside. To remove the sleeve, we're going to try to shrink the tire. Notice that the bead will be seated on both sides at this point. So I'm going to take this vacuum pump. This is a less than $20 through Harbor Freight, and you'll see the part number there at the bottom of your screen. And then I just took some 3/8 ID vinyl tubing that you can get at Lowe's, Ace Hardware, Home Depot, any place like that. Slip it over the end of here, and then we're going to slip it over our valve stem as well on this side. Now this vacuum pump operates off compressed air, so I'm just going to take my compressed air supply and I'm going to patch it right in here like that. Now you'll see the tire starting to suck away. You can actually see it happen there. But we're going to keep this hooked up. I know it's a bit noisy, and then we're going to continue working. And you'll see that the tire will just fall right out of the rim. And we can shut this off. We can remove the hose. And then I'm going to take this new sleeve and slip it right down over. Just like that. We'll center up the sleeve. We'll reinstall the valve gut and reinflate it. So I've reinstalled the valve gut using our tool, and I properly inflated the tire. We are done. We've removed the old sleeve, got the new sleeve on there, and we're ready to go. So let's celebrate with a slice of bacon. Great stuff. Thanks for watching, folks. Be sure to visit my website, BaumBuilds.com, and check out eBay, username autobeverage, for all my inventions, which you can buy kits and build some of these cool things yourself. Bye now.